Hello, friends. Today I will conduct a completely unique experiment that you have never seen before. Today I will use grass and straw as materials. Let's take a look at my process step by step. First, we need to select healthy, vigorous lemon branch from a good variety, and it should be about 1-2 years old. Using a sharp knife, make ring-shaped cut, remove 1 to 2 inches of bark. A sharp, clean cut minimizes damage to the plant tissue. The optimal time to take air-layering lemon trees is during late spring and throughout summer. The primary reason to propagate during late spring and summer is to take advantage of the plant's active growth period and the warm soil temperatures which are necessary for new root formation and healing. Propagation is generally discouraged during the winter because the tree is typically in a state of dormancy. Air layering is an asexual propagation technique highly advantageous for lemon trees, especially when compared to growing from seed or, in some cases, stem cuttings. By air layering, the new lemon tree is a perfect genetic replica of the parent tree, inheriting all its desirable characteristics like fruit quality, flavor, and size. Growing lemon trees from seed is unreliable. Since most citrus are hybrids or produce genetically diverse seeds, a seed-grown lemon tree will often produce fruit of poor quality or different from the parent. Air layering bypasses sexual reproduction, guaranteeing the desired fruit characteristics. The air-layered branch is already a mature piece of wood. Once rooted and transplanted, it can start bearing fruit much sooner, often within 1-2 years. Trees grown from seed must go through a long juvenile phase, which can take 5-10 years or more before they are physiologically mature enough to flower and bear fruit. Now remove the inner cambium layer. Completely peel off the ring of bark between the two cuts, exposing the inner woody tissue. Scratch away any remaining cambium layer to ensure rooting can only occur from the top cut. You should remove the inner layer when air layering, because it breaks the vascular connection between the upper part of the stem and the lower part. If you don't remove the inner layer, it will quickly produce new phloem and xylem, healing the wound. Healing the wound defeats the purpose, as the connection will be restored and no roots will form above the cut. The xylem transports water up to the leaves. Removing it ensures that the future plant's roots will be forced to form above the cut to search for water. The cut area stays dry enough to encourage root growth, but not so dry that the entire stem dies. Then take 250 ml plastic glass. Make a hole in the bottom of the plastic glass that is the size of the branch, and cut one side of the plastic glass, set it on the branch. The cup must be placed in the middle of the cut, so that the roots can spread well around. If the cup is placed too low or too high above the cutting, the roots will not be able to spread properly. Completely block the cut part of the cup with electrical tape. If you don't block the cups properly, your air layering may fail. Now I will collect green grass, which I will use instead of soil or compost. Then cut it into small pieces and place it in a bowl. Grass is one of the most important and widespread plant families on Earth, belonging to the family Poaceae. It has an immense impact on human and animal life, as well as on the environment. Since grass is very readily available, you can easily collect one and put it to use. Fill the cup completely with grass. Fill it in such a way that there is no empty space inside. Grass contains a lot of cellulose or fiber, which helps retain moisture. Grass helps root growth. The new roots need a stable, slightly firm structure to penetrate. The grass fibers offer this light, supportive mass. This makes the air layering process highly accessible to home gardeners and farmers. Now take the straw. Cut the straws into small pieces and place them in a bowl. Since straw is very readily available, you can easily collect one and put it to use. Straw's hollow, tubular structure creates a highly porous and airy medium when packed around the wound. This prevents the medium from becoming dense and waterlogged. New roots require oxygen to form and grow successfully. In standard air layering, if the rooting medium holds too much water, it can suffocate the developing roots and cause the stem to rot. Fill the cup completely with straw. Fill it in such a way that there is no empty space inside. The long, dry fibers of the straw provide a firm yet light physical structure for the new roots to grow into and anchor onto. Once the initial roots emerge from the wound, they need a substrate to penetrate for protection and support. The bundled straw acts as this scaffold, allowing the new root system to develop into a cohesive ball that is easier to handle and transplant. After that, water once a week, or twice if the temperature is high, to maintain humidity. Straw generally does not hold water as effectively as sphagnum moss or cocoa coir. This means it can dry out faster, especially in hot weather. To compensate, the plastic wrap around the air layer must be sealed perfectly, and the gardener may need to check and re-moisten the straw more frequently. The primary reason to propagate: wait until the roots are clearly visible through the plastic wrap and have a light tan or yellowish color, indicating they are mature. We must be careful when removing the plastic cup so that the roots do not break, because the new roots are very soft. Once the roots are well developed, carefully separate the branch from the mother plant. Perform the separation and potting in the early morning or on a cool, cloudy day to minimize stress from heat and sun. The new plant is essentially a cutting with a small root system and will need special care to harden off and adjust to its new life. Now I will plant this tree in a pot. If you want, you can plant directly into the ground. Make sure the roots are completely covered with soil when planting. For the next few weeks, keep the soil consistently moist, but avoid being soggy. New roots are highly sensitive to drying out, but also prone to rot if overwatered. Then, water the new plant thoroughly. Place the potted plant in a bright location with indirect sunlight. Avoid direct sunlight, as it can stress the young plant. It may take several weeks or months for the new plant to establish itself.